Hey guys, welcome to a very special edition of The Fan Show. A few weeks ago, you guys asked us some questions. I'm here to answer them, and I've brought along these guys.
Hello, I'm Chris. I'm the producer of The Fan Show, which mainly means I run around screaming all the time.
I'm George, and I film and edit The Fan Show.
Rebel Hoovian asks, what are you most looking forward to in Series 9 of Doctor Who?
I've read them all, so I can't say. I'm looking forward to all of your reactions and responses to it, actually. I think it's different.
More Peter Capaldi, I think. Just more Peter Capaldi.
That's a guarantee.
Yes.
Is he in it this season?
He is.
Is he?
He's very...
How heavily? Is he like really prominent?
I would say mainly every episode.
No way. I think I'm the same. Because I'm a convert. So since working on The Fan Show, I've become a Doctor Who fan more, and I like Capaldi as the Doctor. I think he's done a good job. I'm looking forward to seeing him do more.
Madman Visuals, hello, says, how long does it take to film and edit an episode?
I think in total it probably takes about a day solid to film one episode.
Yeah.
And then between 2 and 3 days to edit it together, because we have to go through like a kind of a system just to make sure everything's okay.
But we normally have about 3 on the go.
Yeah,
I would say
about
there's one ready, kind of getting polished and going through approvals and compliance, ready to go out on Friday. That'll be the one going out this Friday, for example, and then there'll be one that we're filming for next Friday, and there'll be the one that we're conceptualizing and thinking about and booking people and rooms and locations and whatever and writing scripts for, which will be the one that goes out the following Friday.
Bonnie the Bunny asks...
Great name.
Great name, right? What programs do you use for animating and editing? So we use Premiere Pro for the main edits, and then we do all of the animation and color grading, etc. in After Effects. They're both Adobe products.
Other products are available.
The Cypher says, what was the genesis of the show? How was the idea formed?
About a year and a half ago, something like that, my now manager... one of my managers, a guy called Alex, who runs the whole department that does all our social media, he came up with the idea of doing a Doctor Who show for YouTube specifically, and celebrating the work of fans around the world and the amazing creative things that you all make. Alex and my boss Lee filmed a pilot, and I was in it because we desperately needed people to do stuff, to really just work out whether we could do making a show in a week and getting it complied and approved and onto YouTube. But then for whatever reasons, like last year being a year when we were launching Peter as the Doctor, and it was quite that was the focus very much for last year. So we kind of put the project on ice for a bit in the knowledge that when the run-up to Series 9 came about, it would be something that we then very much took off with. They asked me formally to produce it, which was great, and then I went and I worked with George before. He came on board of the Doctor Who Celebration and various other things as a freelancer, so we brought George on board to film it, and we went and found Crystal behind a bin on YouTube, being very talented.
Behind a bin on YouTube.
Behind a bin on YouTube. Auditioned her, and here we are, making a show. Raging Jaffa, thank you, good name, says, if you had a TARDIS, where and when would you go first? Now, I have asked this question a lot to talent on the show, and so have you.
Yeah.
And I've never actually thought about it myself.
I would go and see the Pet Shop Boys perform on their first tour. I think that was 1989, if I remember correctly. And I'd love to experience that time, because I think it was such an interesting time, just socially and culturally.
I would definitely go into the future, just because I like technology. And I'd want to go and just figure out what new stuff there is, and just play with all the fun bits of camera stuff.
I agree, I'd go into the future, but I'd also go to another planet.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what? I just want to find out if we're alone or not. I'd like to meet aliens for real. I think it would be good to...
You're not alone.
Thanks, George.
We're here.
Eddie says, does Crystal have a hand in any of the production, e.g. writing, editing, etc.?
Really lazy.
Just
so
the
lazy.
face. In reality, yes. Well, Crystal works 5 days a week on the show, as does George and myself, and she is the researcher slash writer slash everything else, as we all are. We are the 3 full-time members of staff making this programme. There are lots of other people, and I'm sure someone will ask a question about that later. But so yes, you write a lot of them or come up with the ideas about where we start from
Sometimes, as well as writing and bits and bobs, I'll do a bit of editing as well.
You're editing this?
I'm editing this.
How breathtaking is Peter Capaldi in person? So a lot of people have commented on the video of you interviewing him that you are fangirling hard.
Yes.
Is this true? Can we confirm?
Yes.
Yes. I was lucky enough to go on the world tour last year and shoot a load of stuff for that. And that was the first time I met him. The first time I met him was Heathrow Airport. After about 10 minutes, we were all on the transporter going out to the gate. And he was like, "Come on, everybody, I'm going to take a photo of you." I was like, Doctor Who is taking a photo of me. So I'm somewhere in Doctor Who's holiday snaps.
Willow Pond says, how do you compose yourself when you know that you are going to meet someone from the show? So preparing to meet Peter Capaldi, I was so nervous that day actually, because you said to me, I was so quiet in the morning, and you said, "Are you okay? You're a bit subdued." And I said, and I was just nervous. I just really, because it's Doctor Who. It's Peter Capaldi. It's a weird thing. You just have to see them as another human being and on the same level, I guess. And then afterwards, when Peter Capaldi left, I was like, "Oh, professional. Oh, thank you so much. It was great, fantastic, lovely to meet you. Okay, bye." Went off. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
She did that for about 45 minutes.
Oh my god! So that's kind of it's just being able to switch, But obviously, my inner fangirl was screaming all the way through.
Yeah, I mean, I still go a bit funny when I have to meet the Doctor, or any of the Doctors, because they're special. You were a bit funny when Peter was there.
I was a tiny bit.
Oh.
But he's very easy to
But mostly because he's really nice. So, Joel T. Connors asks, how did the producer come to find Crystal for the role of presenter? Or was it through 5 Who fans?
Yes. I had a casting brief given to me by Cardiff, by Brian Minchin, the exec producer of Proper Doctor who is ultimately the ultimate sign-off on this show as well. They wanted me to find a girl, a lady presenteress, as we call them technically, and someone who was already on YouTube and very creative and active, and I found a couple of people, and we auditioned a couple of people. I wasn't aware of 5 Who fans beforehand, sorry. But I found 5 Who fans, and I saw Crystal and was like, "Oh my god, I have to see this girl," because it was the video where you're doing Ebenezer Good by the Shaman, but to the inspired lyric Doctor Who.
Yes.
If you haven't seen it, go and check it out. It's brilliant, and I thought that's the right level of ridiculous for this job. Sophie says, "How would you build the TARDIS?" With great difficulty. Well, first you have to get the Eye of Harmony and squeeze it real hard.
Maybe they grow on trees.
Well, some people seem to think that they grow.
Yeah.
I'm not into that theory.
No.
Okay, so Elizabeth R asks, what are some tips you have for someone looking to start their own, probably Doctor Who, YouTube channel?
Just start. I think quite often people ask me, what tips do you have to start something like this? And the key is just starting. And sometimes you don't know
what you're going to make.
You're going to make straight away. And I think it's very difficult to come up with a polished idea without actually having tried or experimented with anything.
I probably agree. I mean, we've both been on YouTube for several years. I've been on it for 5 or 6 years now. And alongside that, once you started, if you get an idea of where you want to go or what you want from it, that's always a good thing. I used to be a vlogger, and then that stopped working for me, so I changed everything that I did to do something that I enjoy. And it gets half the engagement that I used to get, but I enjoy doing it more. And that's what matters to me now.
It won't be a success overnight. And if you look at the biggest YouTubers, if you look at their pages and look at their first videos, a lot of YouTubers say that they sucked in the first place. And it takes time. It takes time to get good. And even on the show, with every show that we do, we learn something new. And I learn something new. And so I think it's you don't get good at something unless you do it.
But I think also once you do get good, learn the platform, learn YouTube, learn how to read your analytics, and learn how to title your videos, what to do with your thumbnails, learn everything behind it as well, because it's not just going to be the content you create that kind of gets out there. You need to know how to put it out. So summary, do what you love.
Keep doing it.
Keep doing it. and then
Get better at it.
learn how to get better, learn how to use your metadata, etc.
Yes,
learn
yes.
how to actually use YouTube.
Katie Lee asks, how do you celebrate the premiere of a new series? Ooh, screaming and shouting about it very excitedly for weeks before, and then when it finally appears on telly, I continue screaming and shouting very excitedly, and I do that for the rest of the series.
I am quite reserved, and then I watch the first thing, and then I come in and I discuss it with these two. I have thoughts, and then we have conversation about it, and that's pretty much the extent of what I do.
My favourite way of watching Doctor Who is with friends who like
Yes.
it. So I think my ideal sort of viewing party scenario is to, watch it as it goes out on Saturday night with a bottle of wine and some good dinner and some friends. And everyone get very overexcited about it. The Who Show asks, where are the missing episodes? Good question. I think I'll field this one.
Mm-hmm.
Those of you who don't know, in the 60s and 70s, the BBC junked various episodes of The Fan Show, and it's very sad. And now we don't have a full archive of The Fan Show episodes. People find them occasionally, so if you find yourself in a Nigerian television station or at a car boot sale or something like that, and you see, the 1966 series of The Fan Show on a 16mm film, that would be great. We'd love to have that back.
I think they mean the actual episodes of Doctor Who.
Oh, actual Doctor Who missing episodes. Well, I think you're asking the wrong question there, because if we knew where they were, they wouldn't be missing.
Gary Mod,
Yeah.
and you're going to have to help me out because I'm clueless. How many Nimons have you seen today?
3! He said he was the only one! Do not blaspheme the Nimon! If you haven't ever watched Haunts of Nimon, don't bother. If it's a terrible late Tom Baker adventure. But if you haven't seen How Many Nimons Have You Seen Today, look it up on YouTube. A completely mad but genius person has put it to a sort of dance beat.
Jordan A says, what were your favourite episodes of The Fan Show to film and why?
Mine was the TARDIS, hands down. That is it,
Yeah.
and that was for me because it had lots of pretty lighting that I got to film with, and it was very nice, and it was 360, and it was just very lovely to be there.
San Diego stuff aside, I would probably say the TARDIS, just because to have the privilege to step onto the actual TARDIS set. Not many people get to do that, and it's such an amazing set, and it's so stunning, and it's 360 degrees. So when you enter the TARDIS, because the outside has actually got TARDIS doors, and you open the door and you can see through, and it's bigger on the inside. It's got 3 levels and so much depth to it, and so much detail, and everything works, and all the buttons work. It's lit beautifully, and it's.
I think mine would be Minecraft. Because that it was a very difficult one for you to edit, but I think for me that fulfilled a lot of what the programme is supposed to be about, which is we worked with a really talented young animator to do the scenes where Crystal is actually in Minecraft, and then we went to meet the guys who built the roller coaster,
And that was amazing.
via Skype.
Yeah.
Them Skyping in from, I think they're in Canada, so it was all a very different time zone type of things. We had to do that quite late on at your house to just make sure we had all the equipment in place and everything. And it was a real challenge, but I'm really, really pleased with the result. Thomas H, what's the hardest thing you've filmed?
I think the most challenging would be the green screen stuff, because it's the most technically challenging, and it very much depends on the things that you're using. I think we definitely got better as time went on.
And we stopped using it as much.
Using it as much.
I think Minecraft was probably the most challenging from a technical perspective, because there was so much setting up to do. We had to link up over Skype, we had to set up the camera that records within the computer, it was focusing on asking questions,
Capturing your voice,
capturing the
their
voices,
voice.
yeah. And then getting shots, so you were like operating a camera within the game.
Yeah.
And getting really nice shots
Yeah.
of everything.
San Diego.
Mm.
Just basically taking us, the kit, everything to Comic-Con, and then also just the distance, and it's a lot hotter than it is in London most of the time, and there's then 100,000 science fiction fans in your face, all trying to get to the same place as you are.
Trenzalore 1502 asks, how do you choose videos for the YouTube?
I like the fact that all the Trenzalores were taken. It's like literally 1,501 Trenzalores already taken.
Yeah.
Sorry.
They ask, how do you choose the videos for the YouTube annotation attacks? This is a really good one for you, Crystal.
As a researcher, I do lots of researching. And yes.
Surprising, huh?
It's good. It's very good. She knows what she's doing.
Quite often, I mean, sometimes Chris might have seen a couple of videos crop up, and he might say, "Oh, I think that would be good. Have a look at that." But generally, I'll trawl the internet and YouTube for stuff, and I'm subscribed to a lot of Doctor Who YouTube channels. So, and I do sort of keep up to date with what's being uploaded as much as I can.
So I get to watch all these videos, and I think it's so much fun. Like genuinely, if you haven't watched any of the YouTube or all of the YouTube annotation attacks, go back and click on every one, because they're a lot of fun to watch, and there is such a variety over the course of our show.
The scale and scope of people's creativity, I think, is absolutely mind-blowing, and I couldn't do any of it.
Gilby P says,
Gilby P. Gilby P.
Good name.
If you could interview any other actors who have starred in Doctor Who would it be and why? I know who I'd interview.
Go.
I'd interview Sophie Aldred.
Oh, yeah.
Because Ace, obviously, she played Ace, my favourite companion, and I just think she'd be fun to interview.
I, again, sort of feel this is slightly cheating, because I have been very fortunate in that I've met a lot of them, a lot of companions and doctors and people like that over the years. So I'm going to be slightly left field with it and say I would love to meet William Hartnell. He lived long enough for the show to be a major success, or it was a major success when he was in it, and by the time he passed away, there'd been 4 changes of lead actor, and it was very much an established part of the world. But there were very few interviews with Hartnell. Now, I felt like I knew what Matt Smith ate for breakfast and what pants he wore and who he supported as a football team or whatever. It was very kind of, we have a real intimacy with celebrities now. We feel like we're owed everything about them. And I know nothing about William Hartnell.
Yeah.
We know very little about him.
Bernard Cribbins?
Oh, yeah.
The Cribbler. He's a lovely man.
I'd love to meet him. Oh.
He just seems like a
I'd
lot
love
of
to
fun.
interview him.
Absolutely adorable.
Oh, I love his little dance that he does.
Gilby P, again, Kino, says, are you going to the Doctor Who Festival? If so, what day? Well, fresh. Yes, we will be. Probably all 3. Yes. In the UK only, sadly, because I haven't got enough money to bus us to Australia.
What?
I'm really sorry.
What?
But it would literally be a bus. I don't know how long a bus to Australia would take.
Do some calculations.
We set off now, we'll get there. So yes, we will be going to the London event at XL in November. And if you're not yet, why not? 13th to the 15th, go and buy your ticket.
Okay, well, thank you guys so much for sending in your questions. We hope that has cleared a few things up and sort
been
of
interesting.
been interesting and demystified the fan show a little bit. And if there's anything else you'd like to know, you can feel free to contact us on Twitter.
Email us at dwthefanshow, bbc.com.
Or tweet us
at
dwthefanshow. Or of course you can leave your comments in the box below. I've always wanted to do that.
You got your chance. Thank you guys, and
this has been fun.
Yeah,
It's been jolly. We should do this more often.
Yeah.
See ya.
Bye.